Whether or not the market's gonna crash, you gotta look at it both ways. It's just like a chessboard. It might not be a good time for you. This is the worst case scenario. You're still okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys as the audience, what are you guys willing to sacrifice at this time?
The number one question we're getting every day, is it a good time to buy? No, it's not.
No, absolutely not.
It is such a bad time to buy a home. It's also a bad time to rent. The people that are buying right now should be doing what some of the renters are doing. They're combining their income to be able to qualify for a rental, and then they're roommating up. That's the only way they can get a home. I don't think that's bad if you're joining together to buy a home together to make it affordable. At the end of the day, are you gonna argue about the market being the way it is, or are you gonna try to find shelter for you and your family? That's a hard pill to swallow. I think we're gonna become a renter's nation. That's why a lot of these hedge fund companies are buying homes. These hedge fund companies, they don't care, they're overbuying. They just want the house, because you know what they're doing with it? They're renting it out, they're holding all these portfolio. A lot of them are seeing how the market's headed. Rent's going up, and so they're buying now, even though it's so high, and it sucks for a lot of buyers that don't have deep pockets to compete. I feel like that's really the case, because there's still flippers out there that are buying home way over asking. Why are they buying it? That doesn't make any sense, right? Aren't you supposed to buy low, sell high? With the way the market's going, they're buying high and they're selling high.
Yeah, they're buying high and they're selling higher.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's this ongoing cycle, guys, and we feel it. We feel it for our family. We feel it for our people. All of our clients that come to us become our family. So we feel it all, guys. We're addressing this because it's the elephant in the room. Rip off the Band-Aid and ask yourself, is the pain of losing out on buying a house worse than living with family? And I get it. It's not easy. But if you go down the regular, medium neighborhoods in the Bay Area, there's a reason why there's rarely any parking. It's because they already did that starting like the 80s, 90s, and then just migrated up.
Your goal should not be to make money if you're buying it. If you're buying it as a homeowner to live in it, your goal should be to buy it to survive past this crazy market. That's it.
Right. To have some sort of a stability.
Yes, that's it. Even if you decide to rent, which is also a bad time to rent too, the sucky thing about that is you don't have control over that rental. The landlord could just say, hey, you know what? I decided to sell. Sorry. A lot of people that we're talking to right now that are currently renting, they are on month to month.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're on month to month. The landlords don't want to tie them in because the landlord is also unsure if they want to raise rent or sell the house.
I have a lot of investor friends as well. And we started to do this thing where instead of just renting it out to a single family residence, it's kind of making it almost a multi-unit where when we're renovating and everything, we convert it and make it into a bedroom suite. We're renting it out to individuals, individual rooms, because it's still a lot less expensive than for them to have an apartment. Same thing here. Instead of getting that 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $2,200, and you don't really have much to work with. If you had that entire complex, everybody shares the living room, everybody shares the kitchen, the common room. It's kind of like dorm living. Yes, I get that. Not perfectly ideal, but not completely bad either, because we get more we get more rental income as an investor that way. Change it if you bought it like that and did that with your entire family. You split it. I just recently read this article that just warmed my heart, where there was a group of 4 single mothers that did the exact same thing. They couldn't afford to do it on their own. They're part of a mom's group and everything like that. And they decided to do it together so that their kids can have something rather than nothing. So I'm going to ask you guys as the audience, what are you guys willing to sacrifice at this time? And is the sacrifice worth it for you? If it's not worth it, then by all means, it might not be a good time for you. But whether or not it's a good time or not is irrelevant because that's subjective. Whether or
Yeah.
not the market's going to crash, you got to look at it both ways. It's just like a chessboard. If the market turns this way, the market crashes, are you still going to be okay? Are you still going to be able to make your mortgage without really super stressing out? Or do you still have a little bit of leeway to wait for when the market goes back up? Do you have enough rooms set up so that in the event where you really need help with mortgage, that this is the worst case scenario, you're still okay, you can still do that? Can you convert your garage? And many homes in the Bay Area. I came from San Jose, and most of the homes that I'm seeing for my people who are looking in that area have converted garage. That might be the case here.
You know, we're going through some crazy times on top of one another, you know, the war, inflation, gas, shortages, and people's income is staying the same. It's very hard not to be distracted and move on with your lives and continue on with your livelihood, right? So that's why I'm saying when you're buying a home right now, you should just buy it so that way you can survive past. And
Right.
even if it's the home you do not prefer, if it's able to get you by past this hurdle, when the market does calm down, it's more stabilized and more fair, then you can sell it and buy your home that you've always wanted to buy. It's never too late. It's not a race. Enjoy the process, but then don't force yourself into home ownership if it's gonna take out money from a rainy day, if it's gonna make me you maximize your budget. These are all real questions that we get asked a lot, you know, like buyers ask us all the time.
Right.
As long as you can answer those questions, then you know whether it's a good time to buy for or not.
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is different.